So before we start, I have some sad news about this video. I did all of these designs a couple of months ago, and when I was doing the editing and I tried to export it just to see how it looked, and I realized that Procreate completely ruined the quality of all the recordings. So it's really disappointing. All the videos are pretty low quality and very pixelated, and I'm so sorry about that. But I still go into details about what I'm drawing, and we're gonna see at the end the actual drawings. So I hope you still enjoy this, and I'm so sorry about it. But I redesigned the Winx Club. Hi, hello, my name is Gabio, and so today we're redesigning the Winx enchantix. If you've been here since the beginning, my first big video was with Angel, and I redesigned the Winx Club while we were talking about why Winx was so good, and we were supposed to do a part 2, but we kind of both decided that we didn't want to we did not want to think about Fate's the Winx Saga anymore. So we let it to rest, and today I'm just using the designs I made for that video to do an exercise in character design. So let's start with Flora, which is already on the screen. So as you can see, my first concept of her still respected a lot of her original design in the regular Winx transformation. And for the enchantix, I did kind of the same. I removed some of the frills to make it more long and less structured a little bit, to be more flowy and casual, because I think that's what Flora would like to wear. I really liked the concept of her having, like, being a plus size woman of color on the show. I think it was an important part that we needed to have. And I actually think that having Flora being a plus size woman is the best thing that Fate has done, even though it was not Flora, but you get it. As for the colors, I stayed pretty true. I really saturated the colors because that's what I like. And I made some reflective with lighter spots, but more like an actual flower than like a different fabric, if that makes sense. I kept the leg thingy on all of the enchantix because it's important. Kept the hair, the knot, I made sure to accentuate it. And yeah, that's about it for Flora. It was not really that hard to do. Flora's enchantix was my favorite transformation as a kid, so I really did not have any trouble to do it in my style today. So after that, I did Musa. So for Musa, it's a little different. The enchantix transformation in the Winx Club has always been described as the most highest part of a fairy's powers. They retconned it later, but when it was introduced, enchantix was supposed to be the thing that everybody wanted to have. It's like the coolest transformation, and it really it shows what your powers are in the best way possible. So with Musa, I stayed pretty far from an actual like fairy look. I don't know if that was the right call to do, but I still like it. And I decided to go more for a kind of coyer look, like with a blazer and a very articulate look. As you can see right now, I put really dark makeup on her because I thought it would make her pop a lot. This look was inspired by Olivia Lux's look for the train runway on RuPaul's Drag Race season 13. I was really inspired when I saw it because it was so pretty, and I thought it would fit Musa really well. I did not do the exact same, obviously, but it's where I got a lot of the inspiration. For the colors, I kind of gave up on the colors that the show gave. This is the one, I think this one and Tecna's are the ones that stays the furthest from their like show counterparts. Because I think that her red is a little too dark for transformation and did not have enough purple. I also tried to keep the hair short because even though I like Musa with long hair, I think it was cool to have at least one character with short hair because it's necessary, and Tecna is one, but two is not too much. So yeah, that's about it for Musa. And then after that, I went over with Stella. So Stella is a hard one to do, and I had a lot of difficulty the first time around too. But I think that this one turned out pretty well. So I really like her actual enchantix design. I think it's pretty. The biggest problem I've always had with it is that it's kind of too revealing for what it is. And I know it's like Stella's thing, but I always thought it was like just a little bit too much. But I still went with it basically without changing too much of the cut. I just tried to make it more supportive and less like just fabric. I don't know, I feel like that's what Stella would want. And I also added a lot of strappy details. Then the makeup, I went bold and pink because that's what Stella likes and that's what Stella wears a lot. And for the colors, again, I went really saturated because I feel like you cannot have fairies without very saturated outfits, but that may just be me. So I went with orange with a really bright like pop of color. I had a lot of difficulty with her skin because I wanted her to look tan and not look like with a darker skin tone, just to respect the original design that I had. The hair was really fun. I really liked doing the gradients in it. I think it looked really cool. And yeah, that's about it. I remember Stella being... I did all these drawings a couple of months ago, so it's a bit far. But I remember Stella being one of the quickest one to do. And not having too much difficulty because the design seems really easy. So after that, I went with Aisha. So Aisha's enchantix is a little complicated because it has two different colors on it. So I had to choose, and you're going to see later on, I go between the two a little bit. But for the design, Aisha has always been the sporty one of the group, and I feel like I really wanted to go with that. So what I did basically for the outfit is a pair of shorts, and I imagine it being like some kind of probably like legging texture with cutouts in them just to be pretty, and a frilly top that is probably made of swimsuit material. And yeah, I then went on with thick braids because I think that it would look so pretty on Aisha, and even though in the original designs she has a couple, I really wanted to do a full hair of braids just because I think that's what fit better. So here you can see with the colors, I tried to go with the second version of the enchantix where they're gonna be the first one I mean, with blue and green because I think it's pretty, but then I'm jumping around with do I want yellow, but then I just added gloves yellow, and I kept the rest pretty blue and green. Yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the braids. It was a really fun. I really like drawing braids. It's always really time consuming, but I feel like the end goal, the end result is always so pretty. And yeah, I decided to do a gradient at the tip so it's a little lighter, also because that's what it looks like in the show. I kept her eyes yellow because if you did not see my first video about it, Aisha gets her enchantix by becoming blind willingly. Someone casts a spell of blindness on her and she could get saved, but she decides to give up what could save her to let someone else survive. So I kept the yellow eyes because in my headcanon she stays blind, because I think it would have been a cool character development. Then I thought it was a little too plain, so I added a skirt over it, which is kind of reminiscent of the harmonics skirts, which I think is really cool because since Aisha is like a fairy of water and technically liquids, having the same kind of natural transformation as the later transformation that is really made for water, I thought fit really well in this design. So yeah, that's about it. I shaded in pink to give like a sun-kissed look, and yeah, actually I did this splash of color, which I thought was really cool. I thought it looked really nice. And yeah, so that's about it. So then I went with Bloom, which is probably my second favorite design of this bunch. So with my Bloom design, I really like the shape of the original enchantix of Bloom. There's something about it. It's just like the really frilly top that then go into layers. I think it looks so pretty. It looks so cool. And decided to take it almost exactly as it is, but to make it a little bit more draconic, because the original enchantix is like kind of love symbols and not, to my personal taste, not enough about dragon, which is her actual power. So for like the last time, Bloom is having a lot of warm tones, because dragon and fire. Her makeup is going to be pink instead of the blue because I think it would warm her face a little bit more. Bright pink lips. And the colors are again pretty much the same. I just changed the order a little bit to start from a bright cyan to like a green. And then I added the like pink little reflex like there are on the official arts, but not in the shell because it's too hard to animate. Yeah, the rest was pretty simple. I kept the hair. I just made a bun on the top of the hair, even though the hair was already like one of my favorite hairstyles. It's one of my favorite transformation, honestly, on the show. So it was not that hard to like replicate, I guess. I had a gigantic like decorations. As you can see right now, I had a lot of difficulty with that foot, and at one point I just had to stop because it was always ugly. But yes, I added the shoulder pads and the ear jewelry, and then on the feet and on the knees. And I also scaled the legs a little bit just to give more of like you're a fairy but you're also a dragon type of deal. And yeah, so that's about it for Bloom. And finally, we have my favorite design for my favorite Winx. We have Tecna. I think if you've seen the other videos or you know me, you know the drill. Tecna is the best character. She is not only intelligent, but she has a cool design, pink hair. And in the first season, when I watched the show as a kid, Flora was my favorite until Tecna got her enchantix, and then I was like, oh, Tecna is the shit. But I changed the enchantix quite a bit. So first off, I tried to respect my original design. So she has a prosthetic hand. I don't know, I think it would just be cool to show that with technology she still is able to process even though she's disabled. I don't know, I thought it was a cool concept. And then for the makeup I went super, like really, really dark because I think it looks really, really cool. And then I gave a really graphic light liner, so it like frames her face. Her eyes are super, super pale, so it gives a really interesting kind of look. For the legs, I really scrambled to do that because it was in my head and it was really hard to replicate. But you know, when you see like the computer generated like 2D, so that's what I did with the legs. Just to like, instead of having the swirls around, I thought that would be really cool. The panels, instead of being a 2-piece, I put it in 1 piece, and the panels are like screens, so they're not opaque. And then I went with the color hair. I made it a little more gray than last time, just to give like a different sultry touch, which I thought was really, really cool. And then like last time, I added a lot of light details because I think that's how Tecna looks really, really cool. And in her hands, I put like a globe because I actually don't know why I did that, but I still think it looks kind of cool. So here's the montage for you. So, thank you for coming to new installment in an exercise in character design. It was really fun. I was sitting on these designs for a while now, so I'm kind of glad that I was finally able to put them out. And yeah, so all my social medias are going to be around the screen and in the description. So thanks a lot and see you soon.